Man, I've been working these 3 jobs for so long, trying to pay my rent, keep the lights on, fading numbers on the bathroom stall. I hate this place, but anyway, I've been working all day, yeah, still in the days, still some work for me to do. I think it's time for job 2. Step outside and see them D-boys rolling, stunting with their ego swollen. On the radio I hear no flex zone, no flex zone. They know better, they know better. No flex zone, no flex zone. They know better, they know better. Can't go back to the life I used to live. Come too far, don't wanna turn back now. Furthermore, I don't wanna see the pin. Nothing else to talk about, 'cause I've been saving all day, yeah, still in the days, man, still some work for me to do. I think it's time for job 2. Step outside and see them D-boys rolling, stunting with their ego swollen. On the radio I hear no flex zone, no flex zone, no flex zone. They know better, they know better, on the radio no flex zone, I hear no flex zone. They know better, they know better. No flex zone, no flex zone, no flex zone, no flex zone. They know better, they know better. No flex zone, no flex zone, no flex zone, no flex zone. They know better, they know better. 4, 5, 6, 7 chains on. East side looking like a slave home. What up, though? Ain't got money for the cell phone. Hello? Wanna still front for the video. Man, can't you hear him knocking? Open up, let him in. I turn on the radio. I hear no flex zone, no flex zone, no flex zone. They know better, they know better, no flex zone, no flex zone, no flex zone. They know better, they know better. Want a gold medal and a gold bezel. Treat it so special, treat it so special. No flex zone, no flex zone. They know better, they know better.
They know better. No flex zone, no flex zone. They know better, they know better. Wanna go?
Ready?
Hi, I'm Alicia Foxworth. You're watching Rehoboth For You. And on today, I'm speaking with Donna Perry, who is Miss New York Plus America for 2015. And I'm proud to have her on our show. Miss Perry, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So I'm excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me on such an awesome program. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So now let's talk about what it means to be Miss Plus America for New York State.
Oh my gosh. It means so many things on so many different levels. First and foremost, I'm just appreciative to God for the opportunity. And it means a great deal for just, you know, for my community, for my church, for the young people that I represent, for my family, for my 2 daughters. It just means so many things. It is an awesome opportunity to put New York on the map. As a matter of fact, this is, although the Miss New York has actually had delegates over the past 10 to 15 years, this is actually the first official pageant that we had in the state of New York. So we made history this year, and I'm just
I like that, history. We caught that. We caught that.
And I am elated to be a part of that. I'm elated to be a part of a wonderful movement of about 80 women strong this year.
Wow.
That will be competing for the title of Miss Plus America Elite. And then we'll also compete for other national title positions. So, you know, I'm just really excited. I'm really excited for the opportunity.
Now, Miss Plus America is not your average beauty pageant. Am I
It is
right?
not. No,
Tell
it
us
is
what the
not.
distinctions might be, because we're used to seeing Miss America, Miss Universe.
Right,
So this is a
right.
new kind of thing for us.
Right. Well, Miss America, Miss Universe, and all those other awesome pageant circuits, you'll see women of a certain size,
Okay.
of a certain European stature. And with the Miss Plus America pageant, the overwhelming difference is that it gives women of the plus size community an opportunity to marry beauty and purpose. And so it allows us the opportunity to express our platforms and be equally as beautiful and be able to say, we are here, we are fierce, we're awesome,
Okay.
you know, we're well-spoken, and we can represent with a tiara and a crown, or with a tiara and regalia and a sash, and be equally as effective in our work. And so that's the distinction, you know, and that's the only distinction. But we're still women. We still have to wear high heel shoes, and you know,
And we
still
love
have
them.
to, yes. So we still have to make sure that we're adorned in our proper regalia.
Yes.
So you know, but that's really the only distinction. You know, we work equally as hard,
Of course, of course.
and we are preparing mentally as well as physically. I'm sorry, to work very hard in the coming weeks ahead.
Well, I
So.
think it's wonderful that we actually have a contest of this nature where
Yes.
women can embrace their curves
Absolutely.
and be unashamed. You know, women of
Right,
color,
right.
Latino American women, African American
Right,
women.
right.
Unlike certain other cultures, in Western cultures, we tend to like them, as you were stating earlier, more European in their
Right,
body
and
build.
statuesque, right.
So-
And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, who you are is who you are. Who God made you to be is exactly who God made you to be. But it is our belief that there's room for everyone.
Oh, yes.
You know, there's room for everyone to work. There's room for everyone to be seen and be heard. And as long as you're healthy,
Okay.
you know, we don't promote unhealthy behavior. We don't promote unhealthy lifestyles. As a matter of fact, we have a regimen. We're required to stick to beauty as well as fitness regimens.
Okay.
It's definitely recommended that you exercise, you know, to maintain your endurance. Walking in heels is not easy.
I can imagine.
You have to pull those thighs in. So it's a lot of lower body working out that you have to do. So, you know, like I said, we're no different than anyone else. You know, we just want that opportunity to be able to express our platforms.
You know, I look at celebrities that are in the mainstream, Jennifer Lopez,
Right.
Beyonce,
Yes.
now Kim Kardashian.
Right.
We have women who have curves
Yes.
in the forefront of the media.
Yes.
Do you
definitely.
think their personalities and their celebrity has contributed to the popularity of a contest such as Miss Plus America?
Wow, that's a really great question.
I would hope so. But I want to know what you think.
I think that their celebrity and personality helps to influence the new wave of curvaceousness. But to be completely honest with you, you know, curvy women have been doing it for a very long time. You know, if we look back in history, Sister Harriet Tubman was no small woman.
No.
She was a woman of great stature.
Yes.
And if you look at Ma Rainey, if you look at Big Mama Thornton, if you look at Bessie Smith, and so many other women who have contributed, Mahalia Jackson,
Yes,
who have
yes.
contributed to
American culture
to
in
American
many ways.
culture and to our music industry, these were women that were greatly respected, greatly revered. Mahalia Jackson is one of my favorite gospel artists, and you know, I always loved to fashion myself, and I read about her, and she was no joke. She was no joke, but she was a woman of great stature, and you know, when she walked and she wore that mink coat and that mink stole, you know, everyone took notice when she came into a room and could pray. And could sing you into a complete and total frenzy. So, you know, I would like to say that while, you know, I definitely appreciate the Kim Kardashians and Beyoncés of the world. I do. Yes. I love the Beehive. I do. But I mean, you know, I have to say that there were women who helped to pave the way. And you know, and I would think that
so they're just continuing the legacy that has been established for us.
Absolutely. I definitely believe that, yes.
And I think that what you're doing also with this contest helps to bolster the esteem of a lot of young girls who might be a little curvy themselves, maybe even a tad overweight, but to the point of loving themselves and not condemning themselves. Has there been an opportunity to encourage self-esteem amongst young girls?
I'm so glad that you asked that question because it actually goes directly into my platform. My platform is Fat Girl, which is an acronym for Finding Alternatives to Gain Impact and Results for Life. And it is basically an ode to my story. Growing up being a latchkey kid, growing up being someone who dealt with childhood obesity and had topped the scales about 5 years ago at 400 pounds was my highest weight. And, you know, over time and me making the decision to take back my health. I did successfully manage to lose over 150 pounds.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. To God be the glory.
Oh, yes.
And in addition to that, I became a mom, which is something that no one ever thought that I would be able to be. Doctors had all but counted my husband and I out. And I just knew, and I asked God that if he brought me through that procedure and he brought me through the entire journey in the process, that I wanted to give my life and rededicate my life to being able to give a voice to so many girls who deal with obesity on so many different levels. And, you know, according to the CDC, African American and Latino girls are actually 20% more likely to be obese than any culture or sex or gender of children. And so when we look at that and when we look at that pathology, we realize that there is a problem and there's a definite need for my organization. There's a definite need for our First Lady and for the Let's Move initiative. And so I do believe, and it has been my firm belief when I entered this pageant, that I wanted to be able to marry beauty and consciousness at the same time. And I wanted to be able to lend a voice to the least of these. And, you know, the Bible says that whatsoever we do for the least of these, we do also unto him. And so I just wanted to be one of the ones that did something and spoke for the least of these, for the young girl. Precious is real. You know, that young lady.
It was not just a movie.
No,
not
it's
just a
real.
book.
You know, there's a sociology behind that. You know, there are a lot of girls that lived and currently live in that shame. And so I just want to be able to say, listen, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and there's nothing that you cannot be. There is nothing that you cannot do. And whether you have a physical crown and sash on or not, you know, there's nothing better than just the crown of glory that you adorn yourself with. So, you know, at all times, you should always hold your head high. And sometimes, you know, you may tip the crown just a little bit, but, you know, you tip it and you adjust and you square your shoulders back and you hold your head up straight and you keep walking and you keep moving. And if I do nothing else, I also want to be able to leave that legacy for my daughters. I have two beautiful daughters, and I want them to be able to see me in the history books as someone that spoke for them and that paved the way for them.
You know, I like that you mentioned earlier about Michelle Obama and her Let's Move initiative. What, if any, can you speak about at this time are some of the activities that your foundation is structured to do to actually foster the purpose that you just elaborated on?
Well, the main thing that our organization has done and has successfully done is our Mile in My Shoes walking program.
Nice.
And we call it MEMS. Everything that we do at Fat Girl has to have an acronym. I don't know why. It's just something that that came to us. But MEMS has allowed us, in total, we graduated about 20 girls.
Wow.
And it was an 8-week program. And our girls walked. They actually did a couple of field trips to local farmers markets.
Oh, nice.
We had a wonderful trainer, a good friend of mine, who actually completed the ING marathon last year. So we're super proud of her. And our girls just really, we didn't focus too much on what is your starting weight and what is your finishing weight. What we wanted to do was be able to encourage them to walk. And, you know, and that walkability is possible, especially in urban communities where it's kind of difficult for girls to really get physically active. Boys play contact sports. And so it's a little easier for a boy, in my opinion, to be able to work out. But for a girl, you know, she's worrying about her hair, she's gonna sweat my edges. And so with the MEMS program, we just allowed the girls to just be free to be themselves. And so once the program completed, they had a graduation walk where they completed a 5K through Prospect Park.
Wow.
So they did yoga, you know, they learned yoga. It was actually one time where we were trying to encourage them to try new food. And Miss Val, shout out to Miss Val, who was our coach.
Hey, Miss Val.
She bought kale chips to the girls.
Yum, yum, yum.
Oh, yes. And they were like, what is this? You know, but they had a really great time. 2 of them have graduated to go on to college. One of our girls, Alicia, we're so proud of her.
Alicia? Okay.
She actually competed in the national cheerleading competition last year. And Alicia was actually the heaviest of the group. But Alicia can do a double flip and turn that bad boy into a somersault and a split. And she can do things with her body. And I'm like, okay. You know, so we're really proud of all of the girls that participated in the program so far. We've also had our... oh my gosh, we've had so many different things going. They've done vision board workshops.
I like it.
Yes, we've allowed them to kind of create healthy opportunities for and healthy views of what they wanted their goals to be. We've also done our Urban Olympics. Urban Olympics is awesome. We're doing that every other September, much like the Olympics.
Nice.
And September is Childhood Obesity Awareness Month. So for those of you that don't know that, September, Childhood Obesity Awareness Month, and where we encourage play, and we want to encourage our young people to get back to the old school way of play. You know, hot peas and butter, hopscotch,
bringing back memories now.
Right, you know, all of those things before Nintendo, before Atari, before PlayStation came about. So that we can really encourage them to play. And there's also an opportunity for us to bridge the gap for young adults and for people before us to be able to get outside and play as well. It is very, very clear to me that dealing with childhood obesity, you cannot just deal with the child. You have to deal with adults. Adults have to advocate for healthy communities. Adults have to be able to set the example and raise the bar.
And then adults have to be educated on how to eat as well.
Exactly. And buy the food.
Yes.
You know, so
if they can afford it.
Right. And that's another part of Fat Girl that I intend to focus on, especially with my crown, is elimination of food deserts.
Okay.
We know that poverty and obesity are inextricably linked.
Yes, they are.
And we also know that food deserts are, believe it or not, Brooklyn.
Right here in the USA, in the urban sectors as well.
Brooklyn, has pockets of food deserts. And for those of you that don't know, a food desert is any community that you live in where you have to go more than 10 blocks away from your home to a major supermarket to get healthy food.
To get organic produce.
Food. Right, and affordable food.
Yes.
And so we want to bring awareness to food deserts. We want food deserts to be eliminated. Nobody in 2015 should have to choose between something healthy to eat versus something unhealthy to eat simply because they can't afford it, and Me, and I might be starting a little trouble here, but I personally feel that obesity in urban communities is a civil rights issue. You know, when you're talking about if you have, you can be healthy versus if you don't have,
Precisely.
you cannot be healthy. That's a problem for me.
And this
because-
issue that you raised earlier
Exactly.
about certain markets not being nearby is generally
Exactly.
in some of the communities of color.
Absolutely, absolutely. And food deserts are predominantly in communities of color. You know, where you'll have your local bodega next to the liquor store. Or you'll have, you'll have a supermarket, but you'll have soda in the front of the supermarket,
Right.
and the water is all the way in the back.
Precisely.
You know, or you'll see the difference between the quality of produce. You know, I don't think that a mother should have to travel 15, 20 blocks or take the 25 bus
Or
all
the
way,
train into
or the
Manhattan.
train in order for her child to be healthy.
Yes.
You know, so we do a lot of talking about changing labels, but what's the purpose of changing a label if we don't provide people with access to healthy food? So that's definitely one of the things that I hope to be able to bring more awareness to is the hunger issue, food deserts, and Fat Girl is here to be able to address all of those different things. So
That is so wonderful. I even appreciate the fact that you mentioned the young men and how they tend to become active more often. Are there any programs, even though I know it's centered primarily around
Right,
girls,
right.
but are there any areas in your platforms that focus on young men who are overweight as well?
I can definitely say that I would never turn away a young man who is, dealing with obesity. And it is so interesting that you say that, because that's one of the things that my husband wanted to make sure that I was aware of. He was like, okay, babe, there are young boys that deal with obesity too. And I'm like, yeah, but they have football. And he's like, yeah,
If
but
they can
every
run down
guy-
the field.
Right. He's like, but every dude doesn't like football. Every guy doesn't like basketball. So what are you going to do for them? And to be honest with you, right now, we don't have any specific programs.
Okay.
I can honestly say that our Urban Olympics program welcomes all children.
Excellent.
To be able to come. Last year, we actually had a basketball team come, and they did a basketball clinic. Yes. And that was through Brown Memorial Baptist Church. Shout out to Brown Memorial Baptist Church.
Hello, Pastor Clinton
Reverend
Miller.
Clinton Miller is my pastor.
Yes.
I must say that I attend an awesome church, awesome community. And we actually have our Ministry in Action program. So they do a basketball clinic every year at our Urban Olympics. And as a matter of fact, because of that relationship, I am able to refer young people to that program and to a plethora of other programs.
Okay.
So, like I said, I don't have anything
Specifically,
just
but
yet,
they do benefit
but perhaps this is a seed.
as a byproduct. Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, teaching the parents like you do, that's a
Exactly,
seed, because the
exactly.
young boys will no doubt be
Exactly.
impacted by that.
Exactly, definitely,
And, I
definitely.
certainly don't want us to close this segment without making reference to the fact that, you've created a bridge between the importance of not fat shaming our young people, something that's
Right.
happening a lot today in urban communities.
Definitely.
And then also still understanding the balance that we need between
Right.
good health and good esteem.
Absolutely.
How do you teach your young people the importance of eating well, and then at the same time not to condemn themselves because they might be a little overweight?
Well, I'm just very real with them, and I try to be as transparent with their parents as well. Growing up, a lot of times my mom didn't know how to necessarily deal with obesity back in the 80s, because it wasn't something that you really dealt with.
Okay.
And so my mom tried everything that she could to try to encourage me to be healthy. But one of the things that I definitely try to explain to young people is that if you focus on who you are on the inside
Right.
and connect with who you are on the inside,
I like that.
and recognize that this is a shell and everybody has something wrong with them. Everybody. When you focus on who you are on the inside, eventually you care about what you feed yourself.
Okay.
It's the same thing as a person who wants to grow in Christianity. You have to feed yourself. You have to feed yourself the word of God.
Right.
And so it's the same concept with dealing with obesity is you have to feed yourself good habits, and you have to work on your mentals. And once you work on your mentals, then my prayer is that everything else will
fall in place.
And it falls into place. Exactly.
One last question, because they're giving us the signal that we have to
Yes.
wrap up. But I'm really curious. This generation has been projected to be the first in a very long time that will die earlier or younger than their parents. And that is primarily because of the level of disease and the pattern of obesity.
Right.
How can we counter that? If you have any kinds of programs or tactics and tools that you're using with your foundation, what can we do or say to young people to stem this tide?
Well, the first thing that adults need to do is look within themselves. We need to look at what we eat. Children learn what they live, and they eat what they see, and they eat what is available. So if you want your children to be healthy eaters, you have to understand that no kid wakes up in the morning saying they want to be fat. No kid wakes up in the morning saying that they want to be breathless going up a flight of stairs. Like, that's just not something that you wake up and desire to do with your day. And so parents have to be instrumental in the process.
And the buck stops with them.
And you have to advocate. You have to advocate. You have to contact your local assemblyman, and you have to say, look, I don't appreciate the fact that I live in a food desert and I pay taxes.
Exactly.
You know, advocate for healthy food to be available in their school, for more gym time. Advocate, speak for them. And when they see you speak for them, they will fight for themselves.
I agree.
So I think that if we want our children to outlive us, then we have to do a little bit more living as well.
I certainly like the way you put them in those words, Ms. Perry.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Great success at the next level of competition.
Thank you so much.
You got to come back here and let us know how things have gone on. Ladies and gentlemen, certainly become an advocate for your children, and let's fight for them to live longer than their parents. I'm Alicia Foxworth, reminding you that in Rehoboth, God has made room for you. And we thank you for watching. See you next time.